And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to the #1 church podcast in DeSoto County. Probably.
I thought you were going to say the #1 podcast of SouthPoint Church.
Of SouthPoint Church, or that too. Yeah, we're #1 all around, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
This is the SouthPoint Podcast. I'm so happy to be back with you today. My name is Carlos Tello, and this is episode number 45, everybody.
All right.
45. Michael Jordan wore 45 for a minute.
That was his original number. Yeah.
That was his original number.
Yep.
It didn't look right.
I actually have a signed basketball card from Michael Jordan with that number.
Oh.
It's one of my prized possessions.
All right. Well, back with me today, the usual crew has returned. Pastor Craig Wendel.
Hello.
Jason Burton's in the house. And our next generation pastor, Carson Krueger.
What up, y'all?
Did you say Krueger?
Krueger.
Add a little bit to it.
Krueger.
It's the French. It's the French way of saying it.
No, that's Krueger.
Krueger.
Producer Katie's in the house. Hey, Katie.
You can say hi.
Hey.
There it is. All
Hey.
right.
Hey.
How you doing?
Sorry, my mic was off.
Hi, everybody.
How are y'all doing? It's been a little while since you guys have been on the show. What's going on?
Been doing well. Survived summer. Enjoyed summer. We're stepping into fall, and I think I'm the only person on the planet that already misses the warmer weather. I like it. I know I'm the only one. It's all good.
No,
I like it.
I'm good.
But yeah, man, doing well. Things are hopping.
Hopping.
How about you? The hopper.
The Hopper. Just got back from vacation.
Oh,
Man. Ready to go on the next one. No, I'm doing well. Yeah, and just like he said, it's really hopping. This is going to be a very busy fall.
It's been a busy summer, and we talked about that the last time we were here, Carson, how busy the summer was, and the fall is ramping up.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in October. The temperature's slowly going down. Best time of the year for sports if you're a sports fan. Baseball's ending, which is always fantastic for me.
Okay, now hold up.
Football's in full swing. Basketball and hockey.
Slow down. Okay, baseball's still fun.
And it's officially getting into that spooky season. Were you guys ever into like the scary movies growing up?
Nah.
You know?
Oh well.
What would your mother have said if you watched like a Freddy Krueger? That's what I'm.
I
asking.
did. I watched all the.
Oh my
I watched.
gosh.
That's what I stopped. But I was going to say when I was growing up, yes. I watched all the Freddy Kruegers, the Friday the 13th, because there's obviously more than
several.
There's like 20.
one.
They won't never die. They'll never.
I didn't
die.
see all of them. I only saw 1 through 3. I think that was
The original. An OG. Okay.
Well,
I like
I'm
it.
old as dirt, so that's
He
all that
is.
was out by then.
He is.
You weren't supposed to agree, Jason.
I thought I was supposed
You're
to.
done.
I thought I was supposed to
He just
affirm
gave you the amen. Over there. That's all it was.
This is an amen.
So
Scriptural.
yeah, the one that jacked me up the most was the Exorcist.
Oh.
That was just like, oh my gosh.
Still to
yeah.
this day, have not seen The Exorcist,
You're-
will not.
Yeah, stick with that. That was just, it's just not.
It's a different. It's still a scary movie, but it's a different genre within the scary movie. It's not a slasher. It's the more what is it?
It's demonic, man. It's
There
just
it is.
demonic.
Just go ahead and say it. That's fine.
I'll say it. I ain't scared.
Mm-hmm. Carson, you were.
I don't do demons. That's just my phrase I've said for years is I just don't do demons. But like when I was growing up, so like my sister was 10 years older, is 10 years older than me, or right at that. So she grew up in high school with like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yeah.
Second House on the
late
Left.
90s.
Yes, that. So she grew up with that.
The MTV
Yes.
scary movies.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
so
Campy.
I grew up.
campy ones.
I grew up with
Yeah.
the parodies. So I grew up with like. So I thought Scary Movie was what scary movies were, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Take my strong hand.
I thought it was awesome. So I was like, "This is great." So my mom one day was like, "You want to watch Carrie?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I sat on the couch and like cried the whole time because I was like, "This is horrifying." So I didn't really know, but no, I don't do demons. So
No.
I think the last like real scary movie I saw, I think was Get Out, and it was because it was either Get Out or something. And it was because Katie made me do it because my wife loves them.
I've seen it,
and I was like, I can't because I don't like the jump scares.
It's
and she watched-
psychological. That's more of a psychological, thriller
like
type of.
even the M. Night Shyamalan stuff, like Signs messed me up for a while.
Really?
Yeah, Signs messed me up.
when he goes across the screen for the first time.
Yeah,
it's like,
I didn't see that one.
That's
I
a
don't do
good
it.
movie.
I just like Mel Gibson. I
it's-
thought it had Mel Gibson in it, so I was
Yeah.
like, this will be
It's
awesome.
a good movie.
Joaquin Phoenix. There's a lot.
And he was hilarious.
I
in
don't
that
care about
movie.
him. I just care about Mel Gibson.
Scary movie guy. No, Jason.
Not really. I mean, I'll watch one. I like the things that are mind benders more than I like the jump scare stuff.
Yes.
You know, something that's going to make me
Yeah.
You
So
know.
like the Jordan Peele, like
I do like stuff like
Some
that.
of his new
I
stuff.
liked when M. Night was doing good stuff. I really liked. I just liked the way he thought about things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't watched most of his
Yeah.
newer stuff. Signs, I remember those. I didn't really was ever into him myself.
Yeah, gore for the sake of gore,
Yeah.
and just let's see how demonic we can make this thing. I'm not
I think
into that.
the last season of Stranger Things was kind of leaned that way more to it, and it was kind of like
Yeah, I didn't make it through Stranger
But
Things.
see, like
the
I was
last
like him.
one.
I did one
Yeah.
episode of season 4, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
it was a hard out.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
it was trying to lean itself
Yeah.
towards that, but it ended up being
it ended
all
up being
right.
it was fine. Yeah,
It wasn't
bad.
so
Yeah.
demonic.
Well, since I am a Christian, I was unable to make it through.
The Lord protected you. The hedge of
did.
protection was strong.
My salvation remains intact.
there
kind
it is. Amen, brother.
What kind of hedge do you have around you?
It's more like a
Shrubbery.
shrubbery.
It's a strong
Oh,
shrubbery.
Goodness. Hey, Stacy Moore, how are you? Chris Pierce is
Stacy.
in the chat. Hope you all are doing well. Hey, if you're joining us live right now and joining in on the conversation, let us know if you grew up watching scary movies or not, or if you still do. That's fine. We can come see Jesus on Sundays here.
Yes.
It is football season, but I do have one baseball thing. Aaron Judge just hit number
Yeah, he
62
did.
the other day.
Yeah.
You guys care?
Nope.
I was really happy that it was a Yankee.
I'm
That's even
relatively a
worse.
baseball fan. Like loosely a baseball
Yeah.
fan. But
Yeah.
whatever.
It was never going to be a Cubs player, so the fact that it was at least one of the originals, I'll take that because I knew it wasn't going to be one of the Cubs players. The Cubs player is not going to hit. The Cubs player is not going to hit 40. So
Here's a question: if you catch that ball, are you giving it back, or are you getting?
Oh, I'm definitely keeping that ball.
You're keeping it.
Yes.
I'd give it back.
No.
I give it back.
They are paid well. I'm keeping that ball.
They are paid well.
I'm keeping
paid
that ball.
Are you
Very
making the deal with them, like, hey, New York Yankees, hook me up, or are you just going straight to eBay and be like, highest bidder, let's go?
Highest bidder is where I'm going. That's where I'm going. I mean,
So-
come on. The chances of me being that person catching it in the first place are astronomical.
Yeah, you
so
gotta
if
buy
I'm
the
there
ticket.
and I'm catching it,
You got to pay for parking. You got to
Yeah.
buy the ticket. You got to get the food. I
Yeah.
mean,
Do you know that to go to a baseball game now, they dropped this like middle of the season to go to like a Atlanta Braves game is like $400.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's ridiculous.
With
It's
all
ridiculous.
the elements added together, and that's just
Wow.
like to get mid-level seats, hot dog, a couple beers, and then all that seating is like you're gonna walk away with like $300-400.
Wow.
To bring a family, it's like a thing. There is no going to the ballpark anymore.
Nope.
Ugh. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would keep the ball. Or, I'm sorry, I would give the ball back.
You
I
give
would
the ball
you would
back?
give the ball
I
back.
give the ball back.
like,
Yeah,
whatever.
here you go. This is yours. You earned it.
Yeah, because I think it's something special
Or,
with the game.
hey, sign a couple bats for me.
I would ask if it would sign something else, take a picture. I think that would be cool. I
Okay.
also think of it the fact that it's a Yankees game. If you can get out of the stadium without being mauled or
Well, the
mugged,
security walked this guy out. Like,
yeah, but
they-
of course
they
they,
escorted him out.
have to
Yeah,
because they're
yeah.
going to beat the mess out of him. Take that
Well,
ball.
famously, the guy that caught McGuire, one of McGuire's balls back then,
Yeah.
he asked just to meet McGuire. McGuire's like, no,
No.
bro.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, okay, fine.
I'm keeping the ball.
Keep it.
See, and that's
Right.
at that point, that's where you
Yeah.
really see where the heart and the love of the game is. Because I think Aaron Judge would actually be willing to meet
Yeah,
with that.
I don't
guy.
know. I don't know much about him. He's,
I think he'd
I'm
be
sure
willing to
he's good.
do it.
He's about to get paid though. I know that much.
Well, they got to win. They
Uh,
still
about
gotta-
To get paid. He's
still
being
gotta-
paid.
they still
Well,
gotta
he's
get a
being
chip.
paid, but he's about to
Being
get paid
paid.
some more.
They got to get
Well,
that
sure.
chip, man.
Yeah, he's about to get paid a lot more. Stacey Moore says she loves scary things. Well, there you go.
Oh, yay,
Not
Stacy.
me.
We're praying.
Nope. It is football season. And Pastor Craig, I do have a stat for you since you are a Detroit Lions fan.
I
Your
am.
Detroit Lions right now. Did you know this?
I am. Hold on. Let me just confess. I am
Okay.
a proud Detroit
Proud.
Lions fan. I ain't
proud
ashamed.
Lions fan.
Go ahead.
Did you know that right now your Detroit Lions are the number one offense in the league with yardage and scoring? Did you know that?
Are you serious?
I'm 100%
What's their record?
honest. Okay, we'll get to
Oh,
that. We'll get to the record.
0-4. I think it's
We'll get to the
0-4.
record. But in typical Detroit fashion, they are also the worst defense in the league and are giving up more points than they are scoring, which is phenomenal.
Which has
I hate
happened
it.
last Sunday in
Exactly.
that high-scoring bomb of a
Yeah.
game
They
and
scored like 1,000
lose
points.
by
They lost.
1 point or 2 points. I forget what it
Right,
was.
right under 2
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, it was right there. It's just like
And the record is 1-3, by the way.
Yeah. 1-3.
1-3.
So it's not. you
we're
guys
on the board,
guys
bro.
There you
have
go.
One. Hello.
You beat the Washington Commanders.
Oh, they're terrible.
Shut up, man. We beat them.
they got a one. They have a win, man. They're
There was
already.
no we in that.
They're 2 wins away. From
Oh, I'm
tying
on the
last
practice
year.
squad. at my age. I'm on the practice squad.
I mean, in all fairness.
Oh, did y'all see that video of the guy who's had like all Bears gear on?
Started crying.
And his girlfriend walks in and she's like, "Are you crying?" And he's just like in tears because the Bears are losing or they lost. And she's like, "Who?" She's like, "You're dressed up like you're on the team." He goes, she said, "You don't even cry for me." He said, "This has been my team for 22 years. I've only known you for 2 months. You can get out of here."
Hey, man.
Know your place.
Know your place. Know your role and stay in it.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt his pain.
I feel that pain. I mean, I feel that pain as a Ravens fan this year and watching us have literally 30-point leads going into half and then losing by 3 in 2 games. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
That's talent right there.
Well, you're an Arkansas fan, man.
That's why I can recognize talent.
It takes talent to blow that kind of lead,
Right? I know what.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna hold the sports. I'm sure people don't like us talking about sports, but that's fine. We're having fun. Hey, the Real is our current series and has been really good. Don't miss it. Join us every Sunday, 9 a.m. and 10:15 a.m. It has been really good. I will say that. Fantastic.
Really?
This past week was. It's gonna be hard to say not to be.
I know.
Really. I've already said it, but it's gonna be hard to say really good. But it's been
Do my
really
other
good.
ones suck?
There's always
It was only
so
this
No,
one
they
that
all
was
been good.
Just
The
kidding.
7 IMs was fantastic. We really didn't get a chance to go over that series, but that was also
That was a
fantastic
fun one.
series.
I like that one.
Fantastic.
Be
series.
Real has been fun. Just even the app. I mean, because the series is the Real. And then the app Be Real has just I've had fun doing that. Just seeing people without all
I did
the
see your hair
filters
because Jackie showed me that one.
the one where I was cooking or whatever, and I was just I had my fro on, and then last night I took it. I was playing the Oculus, and so it's just I like seeing other people just in those real moments. I think it's fun, and the one thing I hate about Facebook is just all the stuff, and there's no room for that on the Be Real app. It's just a picture and a short pithy comment. Anyway, the series has been good. I've enjoyed it.
The Be Real app is fairly new. Saturday Night Live parodied it the other day.
Oh, did they?
Y'all seen the skit? Look it up. It's incredible. There's a bank robbery going on, and their alert goes off, and they're like, "No, we got to be real right now." They're trying to take their Be Real.
Let's be real. Yes.
I mean, they couldn't have done that any better. Saturday Night Live has not been good at all lately, but that was a really good
That was
skit.
a good
I
shot.
saw that the other day, and I was like, "Okay,
That's when they did the TikTok parody, and they had the nurses. Like, if someone's having a cardiac arrest moment, the nurses just start breakdancing in the middle of their room, and this lady's over here like.
When they get it right, they get it
They
right.
do.
It's
When
really
they hit,
good.
when it touches reality.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
really, really good.
When it's real.
When it's real.
I see what you did
real.
there. See what you did there.
We're going to continue with a little bit of housekeeping. Folks are going to Italy at the end of the month.
Here we are.
You two guys are going to be over there. Y'all excited?
Yes. I am very excited. I really am. Get to go to our daughter church in Naples, Italy, but then this time I'm also speaking at a another partner church in Bergamo, Italy, which is up by Milan, right on the Switzerland border. And so that'll be chilly. Looked at the weather; it's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah.
But that'll just be fun. It'll just be good, So yeah, and then you're coming over. You're leading the team over, eh? That was my Canadian, eh?
Yeah. Are we officially dropping that now? Are we
Dropping?
Are we?
Is this breaking news?
This might be breaking news because I don't think
breaking
it's been
news?
officially told to everybody yet. So
Okay, you ready?
yeah, let's do it.
So I would like to introduce to everyone the
Okay.
leader of the 2022 Italy trip, Carson Krueger.
All right, thanks everybody. Hey, it's a great honor. I'm ready for everything we can do for this organization. Everything I'm gonna come out swinging hard, and we're gonna do this. And I feel like we're ready. I feel
Just
like we're
how
ready.
much pasta can you eat?
Well, I can put down some wings.
All
So
right.
we're
I think
gonna try
Oligar
the
just
pasta.
dropped the
pasta.
never-ending pasta bowl. You can go ahead and get
Dude,
practice in.
if Italy has a never-ending pasta bowl, then I may never leave. I just be like, I'll just stay here.
How are you going to lead this team this time with all the failures in your past? How are you going to make it onto the field successfully
Yes.
with this
Yeah.
group of
Yeah.
20,
Yeah,
knowing
Yeah.
the amount of failures that you've had?
I think just like a
Is this the one?
like a Lions, like any Lions team, we strive for the mediocrity, and so when we fail, we're actually succeeding.
Okay.
That's a good answer. All right,
That's
next,
all I
yeah.
got.
So
That's all I got for that.
yeah, so we're going to Italy. Going to Italy.
Number one in your hearts, number one in your program, everybody.
That's right, everybody. Pray for your pastors. We need it.
That is awesome. Yeah, pray for this group that are going. Just pray for everything going to go on over there. The conference you're speaking at, all that's pretty awesome. This coming Saturday kicks off Servolution.
Servolution.
Yeah,
baby. Yeah,
amazing.
baby.
Servolution's always a fantastic thing. Trash pickup, I believe, is one of the
Trash
first.
pickup, and then also what we have going on is there is a house for a single mom that we're wanting to paint the outside for her and do some work there. That one is on the fence. We're still looking for some men that are willing to give up a little bit of a Saturday to come do that. And just to be real honest, if we don't get the men to sign up and to do it, then we won't be able to do that event.
Okay.
Other than that event, signups are going really well. People are jumping on board and looking forward to a really, really good Servolution week.
Absolutely. idigmychurch.tv has the full list of server events you can participate in. I think if you're in a group here at SouthPoint Church, one of the community groups, one of the small groups we have, I think a lot of the groups are heading up several of these as well. So check with your group leader if you haven't already, if you haven't heard from them already. They probably already sent out an email or something like that.
Yeah,
so
and even if you're not in a group, you can go to that website.
Absolutely.
And the whole list is there.
You can serve at as many as you can,
as
you want to.
Find something and jump on board.
And it's genuinely a fantastic time. Me and the kids always do the trash pickup every year. And they look forward to it, which is crazy because they won't pick up their own rooms, but they want to go pick up trash, and I think it's a fun time. There's we always team up with the Levires, and so I think that's why there's a bunch of kids. I think your boy was with us last time we went around, so State Line Road, come down here, clean up Main Street. It's always a good time.
And some people have asked this question. They were wanting to know how long each event was. I can't give up a whole day, and I'm like, none of them are a whole day.
No,
some of them are an hour or a couple hours. It's just little sections of your day, and so it won't take up your whole world.
No. I think the blessing of giving somebody a gift card at the grocery store, you never know what their stores are. You never know that they're walking in with only $10 trying to get some bread or something.
And then bread is all they're going to get.
And bread's all they're going to get. Yeah, I know, with the prices nowadays. So that's always a blessing to get out there.
Can I have just the heels?
I'm going for just a slice.
You got any of the extra smush bread? I'll take
that. You never know who you're going to be able to bless or do something great for. And you don't know what people are going through. We can just hand them a gift card and say, here you go, have a great day.
For sure.
And we're not here to promote SouthPoint Church. We're here just to serve our community. So to give back. So it's always a great time.
Yep. And that's always a leading thing for us. This is not a publicity stunt to get people to come to SouthPoint. We don't even talk about SouthPoint, really. We're just trying to show God's love in a practical way. Yep. And that's the foundation of it. I think our city, our area, our county can use a little more love. We get enough of the other stuff, so.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So jump on board. Sign up. Come on.
Be real.
Be real.
I see what you did there.
I did do that.
That's good.
Well done, Jason.
That's great timing. Right
and
there.
I'm done.
I'm out.
Quick question. Is prayer still going to happen Saturday or?
No, prayer. You can pray while you're picking up trash.
There you go. Pray while you're picking up trash. Although typically every Saturday right here at 9:00 a.m. We do have a prayer service for an hour. Come and just hang out and pray with us.
You'll be there.
Music.
You're always there.
I won't. My schedule has changed.
Oh, that's right.
So that's why if y'all look at me, I have a little bit more energy today since I slept last night.
That's great, Carson.
There we go.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
That's fantastic. So that's
good job
for me.
Good job.
We go to sleep, baby.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's
a good thing.
It makes a difference.
Endorsed by sleep.
Yeah.
The thing you need, even when you don't.
It works, I promise. Tonight, celebrate recovery. Katie?
Yes.
It was like a bad Chinese film where she said yes, but the dialogue didn't catch
it. It was delayed. Yeah. What time again?
6:30.
6:30. Celebrate recovery. Come and join that group. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's awesome.
We have a good time.
You announced giving to a care center. Do you mind giving those details? I don't remember all the details.
I do mind.
Okay, well, never mind.
And moving on.
We're going to move on then.
This Sunday, I'll look right into the camera. This Sunday, you can bring, we are helping the care center. They're on State Line Road. It's a pregnancy crisis center, pregnancy center. I don't really know which one comes first, but
I think you have to have
the pregnancy before the crisis.
Yeah. Because if you have a crisis, that could lead into a pregnancy.
That's a different kind of pregnancy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, and so
or a different crisis.
We're helping them. So this
crisis.
Sunday you can bring diapers and wipes and bottles. There's all kinds. There's stuff listed, and but even if you don't have the list, bring some bottles, some diapers, some wipes, and we'll have a place there in the lobby for you to donate them.
Yep.
And it's that easy, just helping our community, helping them out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did that fit the bill, Carlos?
That did. That was
Okay,
fantastic.
good,
I don't know if I could have done a better read than you did right there. That
It was
really
on the
good.
teleprompter, so
That's-
it's easy.
I think that's all the housekeeping. Do we have anything else coming up that we know of? No, probably not.
Servolution, everything's Servolution.
coming up. Yeah, I know there's so much going on. We just had baptism. I think we baptized
53 people.
53 people.
53.
How's your arm? Are you recovering?
I'm recovered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, swole.
You and Carson had just this.
He's on the George Blanda workout. He's been doing his curls. He's been doing those heavyweight curls. Now it was a lot of people, man. It was a lot of people. It was really cool. It was cool to watch the band actually have to restart the music. That was cool. That was really.
We were
cool.
watching.
That was cool.
On our vacation, watching you guys go through, and I don't know what number you were on, but it had been going on for a bit. And I looked at a man and I was like, has this thing looped or something? Because they're still going. How many more do they have? Man, it was fantastic though to see that many people.
It was
at one
packed.
time.
It was hot.
Yeah,
It was great.
It was.
That's the
it,
way
it
you-
was as much as a baptism in the summer in the middle of the South that you could ever
Yes.
want.
Dude, it was warm.
All we
it was
needed
like
was
a tent meeting.
I was about to say all we needed was some fans. If you just seen like the
With a
whole
funeral
place-
home on the
Yes,
inside.
if you just saw fans going, just a sea of fans out there in the audience, that would have been. I'd have been like, "We've arrived. We've arrived."
I was in the sound booth, and then I look over, and they were like setting up chairs next to the sound booth because that's
Yep.
how many.
It was a
like
lot
that's
of
how
people.
much people. We had people
Yep.
standing on the sides.
It was packed.
It was great.
It was packed. It was a good day.
It
Good
was.
day.
Hey, everybody out there, don't be afraid of first service. I'm just gonna say it. Like, come to first service. What's an hour? Come on.
What's an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
9 a.m.
come on.
9 a.m. is kind of
It's
empty. The
so
second service
fun.
fills up so much. It's good. Just come on anyway.
Yep, and you can be the first to go to lunch.
Yeah, you can.
Man,
Actually,
isn't
you
that
could do
the best?
brunch.
You can do brunch.
You could actually do brunch.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Just
Just
People
saying.
don't
go.
think about that.
They
'Cause
don't.
You stay after
Well, they are
six-
now.
Yeah,
They're all they're thinking about is brunch.
secret's
Now
out.
they
The
are.
secret's
Brunch.
out.
Now
I'm
they
for
are.
brunch.
The secret's out. Real.
The real.
Week one.
The real rule.
We're going to get into this just a little bit more. This was the baptism service that you talked about. And you said you've never talked about this topic of greed before.
Yeah, never.
Why?
I don't know. I realized it when I was studying it. I was like, I've talked on tithing, I've talked on finances, I've talked on generosity, those different topics, but just pulling out the sin of greed, I've never preached a message on it. And then you start reading and looking at how many times Jesus specifically talks about greed. And it's interesting, I didn't share this on that Sunday, but most of the scriptures where Jesus talks about greed, he lists different sins before it, and they're always sexual sins and then greed. And there's this weird, I haven't sussed it all out yet, but
What a word.
that's a Jason word.
What a word.
Let's
I haven't
suss it out.
sussed out
Word of the day.
why that is, but it's interesting that it's always these sexual sins and then greed. I don't know. Just throw that out there. Somebody wants to study that and write another message. Go for it.
Man.
Yeah.
It was really good. You can again, we had a lot of guests come in, and so I'm a people watcher, so I already knew what you were talking about the first service. The second service was kind of like you see kind of people just
Bit of a squirm,
a
huh?
little squirm,
Yeah.
a little uncomfortableness. It's like you almost did that on purpose.
It's I believe it was Jesus
Yeah,
who
that's
preached
right.
his
It was.
hardest
It was.
message to the largest crowd,
Man.
and was able to shrink his following from 5,000 down to about 120. So good for him. So that's why baptism, most people are there. So let's.
That's
preach
what we
the
call
hardest message.
growing a church down.
Jesus could do it.
Yes.
The downgrade to the upgrade.
Ooh,
Oh,
the downgrade to the upgrade.
Like it?
I
Not
do.
really.
That's patent.
I actually like
you
it.
do
You
like
can
it.
find it.
You just don't want to.
You can find it great.
no respect.
There's
There's
no-
that Rodney
there's
Dangerfield
nothing-
that
there's
no
nothing-
respect.
I
You
get
got
no
to bring
respect.
more to the table for me.
Did
my
you
friend.
get anything out of the greed thing, Carson?
Oh yeah, I got a lot out of the greed thing. I saw that's one of my biggest struggles is I've been the sole breadwinner of our family for so many years while Katie's been in school, and then preparing for that my brain has always been feast or famine, and we're always in a famine. And so when you talked about it, and immediately the story of what happened to Egypt before you had Joseph get there, right? And that the vision of preparing for the season of drought they were going to be in. I look at life like that a lot, and I covet money because I don't want us to ever be in an insecure place to ask for help. And it is me not wanting to ask for help, and I'm struggle with getting into that moment and saying, okay, I can't do it all by myself, whether that's asking God or asking people. So it is that desire of it's the greed of being the one to say, I've got it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one that gets blessed. I want to be the one that gives the blessings, and that's tough. That's a tough thing for me. I'm still working through it. So yeah, that was the whole time KK just kept going, see, she just kept poking me. And I was like, okay, you can stop now. I get it.
Stop hitting me. I get it.
But I loved it a lot. I really did. And for me, it really was one of those things of, it is interesting that Jesus does talk about these sexual sins. He talks about the other stuff. He does say, hey, watch the greed and watch how that can just, it can pollute you and change everything for you. So
maybe it's with the sexual thing in the same verses with greed that, money and finances, there's that lust that is there that's attached to it. And lust so many times is put with, the sexual vices and all of that. But lusting after money, I don't know, it might be real close to coveting and all that. Thought? No?
No, I mean, I don't feel like I struggle with greed in any way, shape, or form, but I can see that in that sense of scarcity when it comes to money and not having enough resources, and then you could quickly tumble into a hoarding situation of being ruled by fear, and then that turning into, I got to have as much as I can to take care of me and mine.
Yeah.
And then you miss out on the blessings that you could be giving to others.
I think you see what's happening right now in the real world and what the media wants to tell you in the news. If you watch any kind of news outlet, and there's people are afraid out there. And I mean, legit 100% saw a lady filling a giant Tupperware tub of gasoline in the back of her truck, which is 100% illegal. And I saw this in Krueger and Olive Branch.
Oh,
she just had like this, was leaning
strapped over there and just going at it.
And I was just like, what is happening? I mean, she'd get the most out of her dollar discount. I mean, I don't know what it was, but there is a panic out there with money a lot of times, and tithing comes into that point. I've been there. I mean, I don't think we properly tithe until we came to SouthPoint Church, because you taught it, I felt, correctly, rather than, oh, you're supposed to do this just because. And once you learn that principle and you have faith that God's going to provide for you no matter what, then you start tithing. It's real, and it really works. I mean, it's,
it puts your finances in, they become God's responsibility rather than yours.
Yep.
And that's a big shift for me mentally. I mean, I've been a tither since, oh my gosh, a kid. I started tithing when I was a kid. But still, there's always this pull to go back to a scarcity mindset, and there's always a pull to go back to the cultural view of money rather than staying. There's a space, but you just have to choose to stay there. You have to choose to recognize, oh, God is doing this. God's taking care of me no matter what. It gives way more peace, that's for sure. Makes living life so much easier.
Absolutely. Week 2, God's will. I felt like a heavier message. Really good. Again, I went back and I watched it the other day on our YouTube channel. By the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel, everybody.
Yeah. Sure. Say that again.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
Subscribe to what?
Hit that little notification button.
And then what do you have to do, Carlos? Walk them through it.
Every time we go live, it's right there for you.
It just pops up, doesn't it?
And if you miss a Sunday, if you don't get up for first service, you sleep in.
Right.
Get online and watch the 10:15 service.
Yeah. And I think the YouTube format just looks better personally, watching the service and stuff.
And you can watch on Facebook or church.
I can't do Facebook because I get distracted. Even when I'm gone and I'm trying to watch service, it's like too much stuff going on. I can't do it. I'll either do church online platform, which is great. I like that one too, or YouTube. I think YouTube is just a better look like on my TV. Cleaner.
There you go.
That's the word. Cleaner. But that's just a preference. It just works.
Absolutely. I think we have another platform out there. I'm not sure. Maybe Twitch. Am I correct in saying that?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Just the
Not
three.
yet.
I think we were working on that.
Yeah.
I got that.
It's in the
information.
works.
That's in the works. So there's ways to watch us online. There's ways to go back and listen to these messages again, because if I'm telling you, I listened to you twice Sunday, and I went back again, and I was like, oh, I didn't catch that part the first 2 times I listened to you. Because distractions are real, and you can glance at your phone for 2 seconds, and then you miss a point.
Yep.
Or you miss a blank, and then you're looking at your neighbor going, what was that? What was number 2? I see it all the time. It's good.
And they go, I don't know.
And then they missed a point, and then they're looking at their neighbor going,
Number 2, I didn't
By
get
that
number
point,
1.
yeah.
What was number
There
1?
were notes.
There's notes?
and you've already moved on, like way further away from it, so they've already missed the whole thing after that. God's will. Yes. So, do you really want to know what God's will is for your life? I heard a pastor. It was Francis Chan at one of the big conferences one time. I was there live, and he said that, but he said it in a more menacing way. Where he's like, "Do you really want to know what God's will is for your life? Like, do you really want God to know what He wants to do with you?" And I was like, "No,
No.
Not if you're going to put it in that tone of voice
so
and
it
in that
doesn't
way.
sound
Pleasant
it was
at all.
Really different the way you brought it. I thought it was really, really good, and it was different. It was much better.
Thanks, man.
Were you going to say something there? or
No,
not?
I was just chiming
You were
in.
agreeing.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
In
it
agreement.
was scary, because it was in the standpoint of if God, pretty much of like, if God had use of your body, what would He do with it? And you're like, well, then I can't do what my hopes and dreams are. My hopes and dreams are gone at that point, because God wants me to do this instead.
Yeah, we think that God's will is all this crazy or weird stuff, but bottom line, it's all part of the mission of God. God sent the Son sent the Spirit, and the Spirit sends us into the world. And so God's will is just this whole sending mission thing where we go into the world and propagate the kingdom of God. That's what Jesus came to do. That's what He sent the Holy Spirit to do, and that's what He sends us to do. So, but it's not this freaky, menacing thing. It's just a simple, just be Jesus, be kind, be loving, and advance the kingdom. Yeah,
Be willing.
be willing. Yes,
willing.
Yes.
You said this is a false real that God is in control, and I felt like that was like it was like a. He's really gonna say that?
Yeah, I'm really going to say that. I've had a couple people comment on that. But like I said, when you say God is in control of everything, which He is,
Yes.
He is sovereign. I'm not taking away from His sovereignty. However, in His sovereignty, He self-limited Himself. I know it's redundant, but He self-limited Himself by giving away some of His authority, by delegating His authority. And so where that comes down to it is we end up wanting to blame God for stuff that goes wrong when really it's the fault of either other humans or ourself.
Yeah.
It's not God. God's like, I delegated the authority, but it's just, let's be honest, it's easier to blame God, and it helps us tear our faith apart. Like this week, we're going to talk about the authenticity of God's word and what that looks like, and how people are even deconstructing their faith, a faith that they never even had to begin with.
Yeah.
And anyway, because if you really have faith in the Lord, there's nothing to deconstruct, because
And that's a big
it's
deal out
constructed
there
on-
with a lot of the quote-unquote Christian influencers who are deconstructing their faith because they grew up in this certain type of church, and it seems like it's such a negative deal with them, and they come out bashing the church.
Well, it's even those that were
Yeah.
that were super influenced, like Rhett and Link, the YouTubers that grew up in church, and then they had this deconstructing moment. The countless bands like Hawk Nelson, where it was
There was
just,
a lot, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just
There
have
was
you
a lot. There's
have
a few
this,
bands out there that did that. Yeah,
They had a faith, but then when they wanted to recreate or deconstruct certain things of it, they started blaming the religion instead of the traditions. And it was you're mad because of the way you grew up and the way that your church and your denomination or your traditions made you feel. But that's not the traditions that Jesus put in. That's not the religion of Jesus.
Right.
And so it's this
Right.
it's this struggle where people are deconstructing it and they're adding things back in to make it easier. Right? They're making things work. I've heard that same thing with like Francis Chan and that fear of God's will, but it's also, I really think it's accepting the fact that you are you as much as God limited himself with Jesus here, being, man and God, you're limited as a human being. And we don't like limits. We don't like being told no. We don't like rejection. We don't like facing that we can't do this, or that bad things will happen. Not everything will work out the way we want it. And sometimes to get to the greatest thing in your life, you have to go through the hardest valley. We don't like it. And so we just get mad. And that's where we blame and we tear down and we deconstruct. And it's easy. Like you said, it's easy in the moment to blame God. And so,
because we don't like anything going wrong.
We don't like uncomfortable.
We don't like uncomfortable. We don't like change. We don't like change. At the end of the day, we just don't. Nobody does it, good or bad. Even good change. Even like even if you know this change is going to be the best thing for you, you still don't like it. Like you still want things to be the way they are. I mean, through history, even you take away the Bible, history has had human beings don't like change.
Yeah.
At all.
And we don't like discomfort. We don't. The old saying that I think is incorrect, it says, necessity is the mother of invention. I think uncomfortableness is the mother of invention. Because anytime we get a little bit uncomfortable, we want to invent something to satisfy the uncomfortableness. So we can go back to comfort. And there's nowhere in the Bible that's like not even
right.
It's not even in there, right? The Bible's very clear. People go through crap, and sometimes it doesn't work out okay.
Yeah.
But the basis of our faith is there is this thing called heaven, and there is this thing after life that we so negate. One of the most crazy chapters in the Bible is Hebrews 13. It's the chapter of faith. All these guys, and they did all this great stuff. And then it gets to the end, and this is the part that nobody talks about or preaches, or I don't even like reading it, really. I could try to skip it. But it says, it's true, man.
It's honest.
It says some of these people, some of these people were killed by lions. Some of these people were sawed in half, and the earth was not worthy of their glory, and they never saw themselves redeemed. We like to, and I even say this: all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are called according to His purposes. And we limit that to this planet and this earth. That is not what that verse means. I mean, is God really good at putting the wheels back on the wagon here? Well, of course He is.
Yep.
Yeah. But sometimes the wheels never get put back on this planet.
Yep.
But we have a faith that says there's something after this that is real. And sometimes we have to go through the uncomfortableness and the dark valleys. And we think we end in the dark valley, but you don't, because there is life after.
Yep. And that's just that mind shift that happens with God's will and your will of being able to live your life and not feel like you're under a microscope, right? It removes that fear of God just always on top of you, because that God's will versus your will is that every choice I deal with that's like that predestination idea of just it's all laid out. It's like it's not really laid out. It's just you have the choice, right? You have the choice in front of you to make the decisions, and they will either lead you to death or they will lead you to life. And if you can remove all of Scripture and all of the Bible, and you just say, I could eat 4 cheeseburgers or I could eat 1 cheeseburger, the 1 cheeseburger will give me the life that I need to keep going. The 4 cheeseburgers are going to clog my arteries and de-accelerate my lifespan here. So it's really just about making better choices. And realizing that a lot of us, again, don't like to make better choices because we like to use the cop-out of, oh, God's will help me.
Right.
God will do it for me. Yep. God will send me what I need. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
People with the whole predestination thing, Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you, the plans for you to prosper and not fail. And so I've been told, some people have told me, see, that's predestination. He's predestined you to, that's not what it is. Do I have a predestination as a dad? Do I have a predestination for my kids? Yes, I do. I have a plan for all of my kids. Now, and my plan is the best. I know it's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best. I love it. But will my kids choose that plan?
Yeah.
And that's the choice. God says, I've put before you life and death to choose this day. And so I think He does have a predestined plan.
Yeah.
But we are not predestined. We have a choice.
It's whose will is going to win out. It's that fighting. So, I like to think of it as sanctification, as a process, and as I go further in my walk, it is every day a process of taking my will and my idea of what success looks like and pulling that under God instead of under Jason's definition of everything, right?
Yeah.
And that's a constant struggle, a constant, yep, I don't like the way this is going. I don't want to go through the valley. I really don't. I would like to take the overpass, please.
Give me the scenic view. Give me
Yeah,
Highway 1.
I can look at all those fools down there and go, man, this is great. Who didn't know about this? Let's just go this way and look at all the flowery things and great things that are over there, and I'm just going to go to that. I don't want to have to do that down there to get to that.
That was the windy road message that you gave.
The switchbacks and and the sceneries. I mean, but it really is, and it's when you hit that moment of being stressed out or angry, you just. And I think it really is because of the American mindset. We don't like adversity because we don't deal with it on a daily basis like other cultures. And again,
it's not.
This
the
is why
American dream.
servolution is so important. I think because it gives you firsthand ability to see that people can still struggle in this country and they still don't struggle anywhere like anywhere else in the world. But there are people that literally are going to walk into a store and that gift card is going to get their family fed, and you have no idea about that till it happens. And it puts that adversity of, the struggles that you were on, they're really not that big of a deal. Some of them are, not discounting what you're going through, but Dan, it could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. And it's the idea of having something better, like you're living for something better. And so many of us, we view that success. And my generation is... Every time I get on social media, every time, my generation is all about, I want to have my worth, and I want to have this, I want to have this. It's all these want statements, and it's just like you want it, but you don't want to do any work for it.
Right.
Or you want that, but you still aren't satisfied with it. I have so many friends of mine that are in their late 20s. They all made it to their career moment, and they all left their careers. I have a friend of mine, he was the director of operations at a local college. I'm not going to say it just to keep it, Yeah. He's a farmer now. He traded everything away, moved to Arkansas, and became a farmer, and he loves it because he finds peace in what he does.
Well, I think that's because you get caught up in these idealistic views of what it's going to be like. And once you arrive, you see the real.
It's not, and it becomes the now what.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
It's not necessarily that. It's like, this is not what I
that too.
thought it was going to be. There's all this other crap that comes with it, and that wasn't in the brochure, right?
That was not in the brochure.
Yeah, or this guy that I modeled my career after, he always looked happy. You don't know what he dealt with at the top, right? Maybe he has a little more in him, and he can deal with that crap and be okay with it. But that's not what you signed up for, and so it ruins it. And it's like, what do I do now? And you've lost it. You've lost that whatever.
That love and feeling.
Almost.
You've lost that love and feeling.
I finally watched Top Gun Maverick for the first time 3 weeks ago. I was very upset that did not make an appearance.
Wow.
I was really hoping.
I was waiting for it.
I kind of
got Lady Gaga and said at the end. So you're welcome.
No,
you're welcome.
That was so bad.
One of the points you made, or one of the things you said, and it's in Scripture, and you talked about how
it's in
Scripture. But we'll preface this because a lot of people probably didn't realize it was, and you talked about how Satan is the god of this world.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of you could hear the
uncomfortable.
It's in the Bible.
It is in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
We don't like that.
He is the God.
You come back with that. He said Jesus took back all authority, and he delegated it to us and gave us authority. But then he came around this point with anytime someone has the authority but refuses to step into the authority they've been given, it creates an authority vacuum, and chaos ensues.
You did listen, didn't you?
Man, I wrote...
Man,
took notes.
Well, that was also the third time you listened to it.
It was. It was. Well,
no distractions there.
I was in first service in sitting and listening. But again, you don't catch everything.
That's when he's going. What was number one?
Yeah, exactly. I ran online sound second service, so by that point, I really didn't listen as well. But knowing how to prepare for this, I go to YouTube. I go on
Did
to
you
my
subscribe when you went
I
there?
am a subscriber.
Right.
Subscriber.
So where do you guys think there's some areas that we as a community don't step into the authority that God's given us? And by community, I mean church community, obviously, because we're the ones been given the authority.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's some areas that is low hanging fruit that we could step into that authority, or
is
or
it
not?
you're afraid to step into it because you don't know what your reaction you're going to get is? Like, say you're at a workplace. I work in a warehouse, and Joe Smith's over here, and I know what his personality is. I know what he's about. Do I pursue him in this manner, or do I just leave it alone because I don't know what I'm going to get out of it?
I wonder how often we miss opportunities to bring peace to a situation,
Or that too, yeah.
especially
Yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're supposed to be about, right?
Yeah.
Peace, right? And I think we have a lot of people in the church that I think buy into the us-them mentality. And that's not what we're called to be. That's not what we're called to do. We are supposed to be brokers of peace.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean we compromise ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying. You can still get your point across and bring peace to the situation.
Yeah.
And I think we miss that a lot. And I think it is difficult to do, but it also is very low-hanging fruit because it's everywhere. That opportunity is everywhere.
To
right
just
now.
speak peace.
Yes.
Who was it that said? I think it was Jesus. Jesus said, Jesus, I like him very much. He said, blessed are the peacemakers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. So, like the UN peacemakers, they come in and they make peace to the best of their ability. Just keeping the peace is trying to keep everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But making the peace is stepping in, like you're saying, and saying, I'm using authority and I'm going to share. And I'm not talking about picking up a sword. I'm talking about stepping into a volatile situation and being willing to take a few hits to
Stepping
administer
into the
peace.
tension.
Yeah, stepping into the tension.
Yeah.
I think we're scared to do that a lot of times.
We are.
And that's one of the areas that I think is
Unless
a
you're
low-hanging
an
fruit.
Enneagram and you're a peacemaker at heart, then
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what?
okay.
Hey, it comes natural sometimes.
Comes
Just
natural.
flows natural, baby.
Nice little pose. Nice
Kathy
little
Carlisle
pose.
wants to know the name of the book you recommended.
Ooh,
The Bible. I thought we were talking about low-hanging fruit there.
Yes,
for a second.
yes.
Great
Sorry.
book. 66 in there, actually.
It's a really good book. It's a really good book.
10 points. There it is.
66 books in one book, so it's a deal.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. You're not going to find a better deal than 66 for one.
Or she could be referencing Sacred Pathways
That's
by
probably-
Gary
It's
Thomas.
probably what it
Could
might
be.
Sorry.
I know it's called Sacred Pathways, and I think his name is Gary Thomas, but you can definitely find it with Sacred Pathways. Great book, and if you missed the sermon or the message, we all connect to God in different ways. There's different paths. Mm-hmm. It does not mean that there's different paths outside of Christ. That is not what it's talking about. Mm-hmm. There's only one way to God, and that's through Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay, but once you're in that path, what this author does is broadens the horizons a little bit and says that we're wired differently. Like Carlos said a minute ago, the Enneagram. Okay, we're all different, and so we connect to God through Jesus in different ways. Like you might connect to God, feel closer to God with stained glass windows and hymns and liturgy. Okay, some people that flows for them. Some people it's nature, being on the water or being in the woods. I know Carson likes to hike, and
that's mine.
There's just different paths, but the point is to find what connects you and makes you feel closer to God, and then be okay with recognizing that you don't have to do. Maybe you hate outdoors, okay? So just because Carson might say, hey, I really connect with God when I'm on a hike, don't feel like you have to do that because you're different. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with him. Just different. That book's great. I've read it numerous times. It's fantastic.
Yep.
I think that low-hanging fruit that is just in that is we look at people that we admire or that we honor, and we want to copy what they do, and we want it to work for us. And when it doesn't, we get mad because it doesn't work for us. And it's like it is not one. Not everybody is wired the same, and so people do have this different way. You like worship, you like prayer. I love to get out into nature. Everyone's different. Get out and do it. Find what it is, and that's that low-hanging fruit of I love the conversations I get with students, which I just feel like I'm in a rut and I'm lost and everything. I'm like, okay, what have you tried?
Yeah.
And they'll say the same things that they've heard me talk about from me. And I go, that's great. That's what I do. But, after I said that, I said, what do you do? Mm-hmm. What brings you peace? What brings you back to being in center? What makes you feel like you take a deep breath and you just feel peaceful? What is that for you? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's none of that stuff. I was like, okay, well, try that. Try that stuff, right? Don't copy what your mentors do, because it isn't. It isn't one size fit all. It really isn't. It's the same shoe, but they all look a little different.
Well, I think it's okay if you want to go after, like, hey, it works for him. Let me see if it works for me. Try a shoe on. If it doesn't work, the thing is don't stop at that moment.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep on going. There's other things out there, and some of us are weird, and that's okay too.
It is.
We connect with God in weird ways, according to other people.
Yes, because we're different.
We are different.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we have to have those times. Mm-hmm. We have to have times where we connect with the Lord, and I call it like inhaling. You have to just take a minute to breathe. And when you think about it, look, everybody's breathing. Good, glad y'all are breathing.
Not like that. You're doing that. That is the wrong way.
That was a yawn.
That is the wrong way to inhale. I know we didn't say there's any wrong way to connect with Jesus.
We just got through saying that we're all different.
That's too different.
Okay?
That's too different. That's too
Don't
much.
shame my breathing.
That's too much.
Don't shame.
That's too much.
Were you done with your point? Because we completely lost
I was far enough, man.
It's gone.
It was far enough.
It's gone.
You got to take time to inhale.
I was waiting for you to get to
Take
finish,
time to inhale.
Jason just derailed the whole thing.
Sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
My job is done.
Good God.
All right. So this coming Sunday, week 3 of Be Real. The Real.
The Real.
I have Be Real. Now it's just all the reals. You're going to be talking about deconstructing. Real? That's going to be really, really good.
We talked about the authenticity of the Bible. Part of it is the deconstructing our faith.
Yeah.
They just kind of go together, because what I've seen, even talking to people recently, you're wanting to deconstruct your faith, but you don't even read the Bible. So it's just
you have to have something to deconstruct, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think that goes off of, and we've talked about this before, is if you did grow up into the church, or you grew up in the church and you left the church because something went wrong, whatever you were taught, that's what you know. And so the guy behind the pulpit said this, therefore that's what it is. Instead of opening up your Bible and reading, and it really probably didn't say what he said.
Right. So
or you misheard.
Or you misheard.
Yeah.
You missed point one because you were trying to,
One of the faults of, here's a little theology, just because everybody just loves a little theology.
Get on it.
Just a little bit.
Come on, Pastor.
The church overall, the evangelical church, I think, has been too focused over the centuries on soteriology, which is the study of salvation and just being saved, and not doing enough into Christology, which is just studying the way of Christ. And so what we do is we focus so much on salvation that we think that's it. Yeah. Like there's nothing, I'm saved, I'm done, I have completed my task. So there's no need to waste time reading the Bible. There's no need to waste time in how to become a disciple of Christ, because the evangelical church has not done a very good job of saying, salvation, yes, it's necessary, but that is only the very beginning. That's why we call it being born again. It's like you're just starting.
Yeah.
And to have the Christology, you have to incorporate the Word of God, obviously, into your life and discipleship and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you always point to the crosses after every service, and there's the little book, Fresh Start, and that's the first step. For a lot of people, y'all don't know Jesus. Here's some resources to help. You always say, if you don't know how to read your Bible, start in John. And that we usually say, right?
And move
I've heard other people say the same thing. Start in John. If you don't know where to read,
start in Deuteronomy. That's what I tell people.
Start in Deuteronomy.
Move right on
or move
into
out of
Leviticus.
Start in Leviticus.
So
follow that up with Lamentations. Let's just get into all the big hits first.
Did you say Deuteronomy first?
Yeah, why not?
No.
Amos. Read Amos.
Do not read Amos. Don't read Amos or Hosea as your first two. Definitely don't do Lamentations. No. And, man, stay away from Leviticus.
What did he say? I was tired of lamenting.
I was tired of lamenting, yeah.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us live today. And if you didn't join us live or you joined us live earlier,
Shame
this
on
podcast is available.
No, that's shame on
could-
them.
Oh, I thought that's where you were
We
going.
love
You can
them.
always go back and watch it on Facebook, and we have it on all of our podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, all the other ones, and our YouTube channel. If you
Yes.
come to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and you can get this podcast right on there as well.
What?
Click the
What?
button.
Yes.
Are you
it is
serious?
available. Yes, it
Click the
is.
button.
Yep.
Do it.
Click the button. Hit subscribe.
Do it.
Who wouldn't
anytime
want
we
to
have
see my
something new.
beautiful face with
Yeah.
my I love
I'm
meetings?
so glad you're
mug?
back. Look at this.
Oh,
Wait
it
a
says-
minute.
No, wait.
It continues
Hold on.
about meetings.
Hold it up. Okay.
All right, so it starts out, I heart meetings, about meetings.
Is there something on the bottom?
Yeah, don't dump out your coffee.
What does that say?
About even more meetings.
About even more meetings. It continues.
That's
Now,
you.
be better if there was something down in there that says, "Hey, did you forget something in that meeting?"
When you finish your drink, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
right.
right.
wait. Hey, don't forget that.
Don't
one
forget
thing.
about the meeting. Yeah, yeah. We're all different, right?
We are
Some of us
different.
weird. There it is. He loves
Yep,
meetings.
he does.
Hey, before we get out of here, I'm going to ask this last question. What are you currently loving?
Fall
Yes.
ish. Like if there were some rain with this, I'd be even, I'd be in heaven at that moment. Dude, we haven't had rain
Yeah.
in like a year and a half.
I hate rain, but I'm going to agree with you. We need some rain.
Yes, sir.
It's dry. It's really
It is
dry.
Let it rain.
I
Was that
am
Old Michael
loving.
Davis song? Yeah.
I am loving the season that the church is in right now. It's a good season. This has been the best season for me,
Yes.
me, all about me.
Yes.
Since COVID, there's just a lot of really good things going on.
Did
and
you say we're getting new chairs? Did you say that this
we
past
are
Sunday?
getting
Oh, my
new chairs?
goodness.
That's coming, man. December 18th, we're gonna have a work day after church and tear them all
Immediately.
out.
We got a
And
lot.
then over the holidays, over Christmas and New Year's, companies coming and putting on all brand new chairs with
Boy.
wait for it.
Oh, man.
With cup holders.
Oh, my goodness.
And more chairs.
So we're saying, like,
We're getting
no more coffee spills that run all the way down. To the
Oh, no.
bottom of the-
It'll still be
have
those.
They're probably-
Yeah, we'll still have those.
That'll be the christening.
That'll be
the
the
first
christening,
Sunday
right?
back.
Ba-ding, ding, ding. Yeah, we.
Those reusable coffee cups.
Yes, it'll be awesome. No, I'm talking about the people with the Yeti cups that just
Yes.
knock
Clang,
them
clang,
down.
clang,
That'd be
fall
great.
all the way down because they don't
Yeah.
fit. Yeah.
Yep.
Carson, what do you think?
I am absolutely loving Texas Christian University football right
Oh.
now. The fact that they destroyed Oklahoma last weekend. I thought this was going to be a very 2-9 season, and we actually, by golly, we might make this. We're making a run. Don't call it a comeback. We're making a run. I'm ready. Horns up, everybody. Let's go.
The
So-
frogs or the
They're the frogs, man.
What
Don't
are
work
you
frogs.
loving?
Hey, listen, I'm loving Cooper Rush, baby. The Cowboys are finally winning again. Hey, that's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Hey, man. So, hey, if you look at the stats, though, real quick, you look at the stats on Cooper Rush and Dak, this could be a Tom Brady, Drew
Tell you,
Bledsoe
man, I'm telling
situation.
you, it's going to happen.
All
This
right,
could be
let's
the
end this
Cooper
Tom
Rush could
Brady.
be the Cooper Rush could be the he could be
I'm going
the
to
real
agree.
deal.
I'm loving the fall. We're finally here. I hate hot.
I do too.
Can't stand it. I don't like summer. I'm loving the fall because it brings all the colors. All the sports are going on. It's just fun. It's fun. That's what I'm loving.
All right.
Katye, what are you loving?
The weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All
answer.
right.
I mean,
All
I
right.
could
Good
expand,
answer.
but
You don't need to. We all understand.
Jason is very ready to get out of here.
I am
so-
not. What did I do? I'm kicked back.
It's lunchtime, right?
He's
Yeah.
relaxed. He's got his stormtrooper shirt on.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Aiden Pierce says cup holders are going to be amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Amazing.
Aiden. Yeah, they are.
Amazing. Stacy Moore says, I love summer. Hey, Stacy, everybody who's online right now, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
today.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, guess what? 2 weeks, we have a very special edition of SouthPoint Podcast coming up.
Is
We
Santa
have
gonna
a
be
special
there?
guest coming. We have a special start time, 8 a.m. live right here. Jeff Flea Watts is going to be joining us right in this studio. It's going to be
Cool.
amazing.
Right.
So join us live in 2 weeks. Don't miss it. And if you miss it, again, we're available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all the other fun places.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Hey, we'll see you this Sunday at 9 o'clock, 10:15. And thank you all for joining us today.
Peace.
Bye. There it is.
Adios.
Adios, hombres.